What the hell, cat?
Get out of here. You're near high-tech equipment.
You can't be in the podcast.
Yeah, get out of here. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Steamed Hams Show podcast, whatever you want to call it. It's the most cromulent podcast around. I'm one of your hosts, John.
I'm the other host, Will.
Look at that, we stayed on script, which we don't have a script, so I don't know how we're staying on script.
There's still no script.
Well, you know, consistency. So, this episode, we watched Cape Fear. Not the Robert De Niro movie, but the Simpsons episode.
Yep, this is October 93, Season 5, Episode 2.
Yep. As I mentioned at the end of last episode, this might be my favorite episode, and after watching it again, I can safely say I think it is my favorite episode. It just has so much packed into it.
It's because it's a Conan O'Brien show. This is one of his episodes.
Oh, was it a Conan written one?
Yeah.
That explains everything.
Yeah, his real, the best.
Yeah, Monorail is his, this is his, yeah. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize this was one of his, but I should have. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, and it also has it opens with the longest couch gag. Not the longest, but
it's one of the
a
longer
long
ones. I know they use this one a lot too. I think it's like a filler one basically, but it's the dancing with all the circus performers and shit.
Dancers
the
and
showgirls and stuff.
There's elephants doing handstands in the background and stuff.
Yeah,
it's good.
Well, I might as well get into the episode, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it opens up with Up Late with McBain, with your host, Open Cooper Feare Wolfcastle, who is in an SS uniform with the swastika armband and all, which I was like, Jesus Christ. They just don't care.
Yeah, so he's being introduced by a Nazi, and he comes on and just starts calling everybody homosexuals right away.
He calls his music guy, who's wearing very flamboyant 90s clothes, a homosexual. And I noticed the guy's name was Scully, which is also his partner in the McBain movie we were talking about last episode.
Right.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
This Scully did not get killed 2 days before retirement, though. As far as we know.
Seems like he's already well into retirement.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, they say Fox Network has sunk to a new low.
Yeah.
When he starts calling everybody homosexuals.
Yeah.
And I guess that was the whole point of that scene, was just to dig at Fox.
But you look at Fox now and it's was that low? I think they're just going for a new bar.
Yep.
Perpetually lower. Anyways, Marge comes in with mail, and there's a letter for Lisa from her pen pal Anya. And it starts off with her voice, as I write this letter, I am very sad. Our president has been overthrown and a male voice cuts over, and it's just General Kroll.
Yeah,
all hail Kroll and his glorious new regime. Sincerely, little girl.
So good.
Yeah. And then Bart gets a letter too that just says, I'm going to kill you, and it looks like it's written in blood.
Yeah, and it kicks in with the Cape Fear music.
Yeah.
And then it's someone, I think Bart says who would want to send this to me or whatever, and then cuts to Sideshow Bob actually it doesn't even cut to Sideshow Bob, it's you see someone writing in blood. And then he writes die Bart die on a piece of paper, and then he checks off threaten Bart and do laundry, and then
he writes down buy corn holders, and it zooms in ominously.
Yeah. The blood dripping off the corn holders.
Yeah.
Epic.
Yeah. After that, we get an Itchy and Scratchy episode.
Right. Where Scratchy's the cat, right?
Yeah, Scratchy's the cat, Itchy's the mouse, Itchy's the jerk.
Scratchy's, he gets himself caught and chained to a table in James Bond kind of style, with a laser going up between his legs.
Yeah.
And he uses his tongue to unplug it.
Itchy just comes back in, plugs it back in. Cuts him into a million pieces. Pretty great.
Yeah, and Lisa thinks it's hilarious, but Bart's kind of shaken.
Yeah, he's a bit traumatized by all these letters he's been getting. Homer gets the mail this time from the front door and just shouts, "Oh my God, someone's trying to kill me." He's like, "Oh wait, it's for Bart." He's so relieved.
Yeah, continuing the theme from the last episode. He's a shitty dad.
Yeah, pretty much. Goes to the kitchen where they have all the letters laid out on the table, and Marge's like, "Oh, this one's in different handwriting." And Homer just admits, he's like, oh, I drew that one. After Bart somehow got this tattoo on my butt and just says wide load. But his note just says, I'll kill you, scum.
I kill you, scum. Yeah. Classic.
Yeah. They're talking about like going to the police and stuff, and Grandpa's there, and he says, we should get Matlock. But
yeah, something weird I noticed about the episode. I remember I used to notice this back in the day when I would watch The Simpsons all the time too. But like that scene when Grandpa's talking for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Like none of him moves at all except his mouth for like the whole time he's talking.
Yeah, weird.
And it was like they had written it differently or animated it differently, or like they had to just quickly replace the scene or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like weird. It's just I always notice it. There's a few other episodes like that.
Yeah. Bart mentions that Matlock is not real, and Grandpa mentions that neither are his teeth, but he can still eat corn on the cob if someone cuts it off and smushes it into a fine paste. It's good eating.
Yeah, so then it kind of goes into this like montage of random people that Bart runs into, and he thinks that each of them is the person who's threatening to kill him. He runs into Marge, and she's cutting out like, you can see she's cutting out letters from like the newspaper or whatever. It says like D-I-E in like red writing. And she's like got the scissors in her hands. She's like, I'm gonna get you, Bart, or whatever. She's like, I'm gonna get you some ice cream down at the store.
Yeah.
Saving so much money with these coupons for Diet Coke.
Yeah. Then he's like walking to school, and Flanders comes out with Freddy Krueger finger razors on. He's like, say your prayers, Bart. Because the schools can't force you like they should. Yeah. Then at school, Bart's hanging out like in the jungle gym, just like in the middle of it. And I guess he has Mel scouting out to see if anyone's trying to kill him. And he's like, oh, the girls are calling you fatty, fat, fat, fat. And Nelson plans on pulling down your pants. And Bart's like, oh, that's a relief. And like 1 second later, Nelson comes and pulls down Bart's pants, and all the girls are just pointing and laughing, calling him fatty, fat, fat, fat.
It's a decent nickname.
It is. It cuts to the core.
Yeah, even in Saturdays of Thunder, that's one of the things Homer lists off about how much he likes Bart. He's like, his fat little belly.
Yeah. So much fat shaming for Bart.
There is. Yeah, Lisa, or not Lisa, then it cuts to Marge at the police station, and Wigham's telling her that, I don't think there's a law for against mailing threatening letters to people. She's like, I'm pretty sure there is.
Yeah. And I think it's Lou comes with a book, and he's like, oh, wow, she's right, she. And he's like, give me that. And he's like, oh, it also says here it's illegal to put squirrels down your pants for the purposes of gambling. And it just cuts away to like another room, and Eddie's there with like squirrels in his pants, and there's a bunch of cops like with money gambling on it. It's like, knock it off, guys.
Yeah, I always wonder what that is. Like if it's like they're gambling to see like how long it'll take them to get to the bottom of his pants. Or unless he put them in the bottom and then seeing how long it takes to get to the top.
No idea. It's a weird game. They don't have it at the casino. I've looked. There's no virtual squirrels down your pants tables anywhere machines, so I have no idea what the rules are.
There's got to be like a mobile game for that.
There has to be. Well, if not, we should make it. Don't steal our idea. Copyright Steam Hams.
Now we've got the episode randomizer. Tomorrow we'll have the Squirrels Down Your Pants Simulator 2017.
Yep. Make it Oculus Rift compatible.
VR squirrels.
Yeah, you play as a squirrel.
Oh God. 18 and over only.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was going to say something about squirrels liking nuts, but inside thoughts.
Yep. Keep that to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Lisa has an idea that maybe it's Mo, because Bart's always calling and making crank calls to Mo's Tavern, and
yeah.
And so she calls and threatens Mo. She's like, we know you're behind this, Mo. So knock it off or we're going to the cops.
Yeah, it's like, all right, I'll take care of it. And goes to the back room, and it's like, all right, it's over. And he opens up these crates, and a bunch of pandas just rush out.
Yeah, he runs out on the street, and he's like, andale, for some reason.
I love Mo and his like shifty backroom businesses. It happens a few times that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, he's always got something going on.
Yeah, either the whale or the deer hunter, like Russian roulette going on back there.
Oh yeah.
Before that, Bart or Lisa does say that she's like, oh, it's who had been making prank phone calls to for years, and Bart's just like, Lisa Lavin, and she's like, no, someone who didn't deserve it.
Yeah, I didn't know who that is.
Neither do I.
Is it Lisa? You say Lisa Lavin?
Lisa Lavin.
Are you sure it wasn't Linda Lavin?
It could have been Linda Lavin. I don't know how to read notes. Oh, it is Linda Lavin.
know how to read notes.
I don't know how to read.
Or listen with your earballs.
Yeah.
Huh. Just a strange Broadway actress. I've never heard of her at all. Or anything that she's been in, for that matter.
Just an obscure reference.
Damn Americans.
Yep.
Anywho.
After that, it goes back to the prison where Sideshow Bob is writing again. And he...
It's like he's like journaling or something.
Yeah, he's like writing a letter to like a magazine. He's like, "Dear life in these United States, a funny thing happened to me." And passes out. And Snake just says, "Use a pen, Sideshow Bob."
Yeah, I thought it was weird that he's sharing a cell with Snake.
Yeah.
And I think Snake is just wearing his like regular outfit.
Yeah, he's not even like prison orange jumpsuit. He's just wearing his signature Snake get up. It goes to outside the prison, and there's a sign on the gate that just says like Springfield Penitentiary, America's fastest growing prison or something like that.
At least they got something to be proud of.
Yeah. And it goes to the parole boardroom, and I just noticed a big picture of like Bill Clinton behind the the board every single time.
I wonder why that is.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
What do you think?
They always like throwing fun at the Democrats and shit in the show, especially the Democrats. Probably being Fox and all.
That is true.
But they start going through, I guess, character witnesses for Sideshow Bob to see if he deserves parole or not. And the first up is Chief Wiggum. He's like, "Sideshow Bob has no dignity. He called me Chief Piggum." And everyone just starts laughing. He's like, "Oh, now I get it."
That is funny.
Yeah.
Yep. And Selma
Yeah.
gets up there because she's one of the... Well, Sideshow Bob tried to kill her when they were on their honeymoon.
Yeah.
And that was the reason he was in jail in the first place. And and the defense lawyer is like, "How many people in this room are thinking of killing her right now?" There's one guy in the corner just like shoots his hand right up. He's like, "Yep."
Yeah. A few other hesitating. He's like, "Come on, be honest." And like everyone starts lifting it up.
There's like a priest and stuff in the front row.
Yeah. And then it sort of pans over and Patty's there with her hand raised up, and some guy just gasps, and she's like, "She's always leaving the toilet seat up." Which just...
There's so much to unpack there.
Yeah, it's too much.
Too much for just a podcast.
Yeah. So the defense lawyer goes up to Sideshow Bob and he's like, "What is your threat towards one Bart Simpson?" He's like, "Bart Simpson, the one who twice put me away and sent me to this dank urine-soaked hellhole." He's like, "We object," when he could have said this pee-pee-soaked heck hole. He's like, "What about the tattoo on your chest that says, 'Die Bart, die'?" He's like, "Oh, no, that's German for the Bart. The."
Yeah, the lady parole officer was like, "No one who speaks German could be an evil man."
Yeah. It's great.
Classic. Yeah, and then they grant his parole.
Yep.
All smiles. Because he's charmed the whole room.
Yep.
Which I guess is another thing they stole from the actual movie. Cause the guy just like charms the pants off everybody.
If you've never seen Cape Fear, the actual movie, you should check it out on Netflix. It's a good performance by Robert De Niro. Yeah. It's nothing like the Simpsons episode, though. It's not that funny. Unless you've seen the Simpsons episode, in which case you're going to laugh out at inappropriate moments because it will make you think of funny things.
Yeah, so I guess that's the point at which it gets into this sort of like bunch of scenes where Bart and family kind of run into Sideshow Bob around town.
Yeah, he's sort of accosting them, stalking them, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, so harassing.
Yeah, that's another word you could have used. So they go to the movie theater, which hopefully you know what that is because I'm not going to explain it. It's like
a Netflix that a bunch of people can go to at once.
With a really big screen. And a lot of people use their cell phones there. They're freaking dicks. Anyways, they're seeing Ernest Goes Somewhere Cheap. And Sideshow Bob's there smoking a cigar in the theater, which is a scene from Cape Fear. And then Marge's like, "Oh, that man is so rude." And it cuts to Homer's like, "Yeah," and he's smoking an even bigger cigar that's like Knoxville World Fair 1983 on it.
It's like so random. Like these references are so like obscure, but they're like so good.
And then Homer like leans forward to sort of tell him to knock it off, and he starts laughing at a moment and hits Sideshow Bob in the back, and Sideshow Bob turns around and is like, "Oh, really?" Kelsey Grammer, of course.
Yeah,
great
this is
voice.
Too much.
Yeah. Like, Sideshow Bob. And that's when they figure out it was him sending them the letters.
Right.
But
yeah, and so like Bob throughout this whole episode is just constantly being like foiled by his own. I don't even know what the right word for it is because he's not incompetent. He's just like, I don't know.
It's like so flustered. He's choking on his own rage.
Yeah, exactly.
But Marge's like, stay away from my son. And he's like, oh, I'll stay away for all right. Stay away forever. And leaves.
He's like, wait, that's not right.
Yeah.
Marge, wait, I've got it. Can you say stay away from my son again?
She's like, no. And he just does his signature. And it cuts to Sideshow Bob in his apartment building, like working out, and then has like a bunch of tattoos of like Bart dead on him, and a dartboard with like knives and shit in it with Bart's picture.
Yeah.
He's pumping some iron. His tattoos, love and hate in German. And then cuts to him like doing TV aerobics. It's pretty great.
Yeah, it's funny because again, it's from the movie, right, where he's got like love and hate tattooed on his fingers, but then because
Simpsons
Bob's only got 3 fingers.
Yeah, 3 fingers.
They like spelled it LUV
and HAT.
and HAT with a what's it called, the line diacritic or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's pronounced as hate, but it's like
Yep.
It's so clever.
It goes back to the Simpsons house where Wiggum's there setting up a booby trap, and it's like just a bunch of wires or string going to a crusty doll in the middle of the kitchen sitting on a chair.
Yeah.
He's like, now we'll know when he enters the house, and once someone comes into your house, anything you do to them is nice and legal, and he like winks. And Homer's like, oh, really? Oh, Flanders, can you come here a minute? He's like, oh, you can't invite them over.
And he's like standing behind the door, like,
like waiting to punch
pounding
him.
his fist.
Yeah. It's like, hi, neighbor, go away. Hokey dokely.
Yeah.
Yep. They get the PI.
Yeah, they get the PI to go and try and convince Bob to leave town. He's just like, no.
Yeah, it's like, I'll be your best friend. No. Oh, you're mean. Which is from Cape Fear again, but the PI in that movie is a lot more competent, I guess you could say.
Yeah, but he does just go up to him in the bar and he's like, come on.
Yeah.
More or less.
Pretty much.
So I thought that was a pretty good callback. Yeah, so there's a scene there where I don't know if it's from anything else, but it's definitely not from Cape Fear, where Sideshow Bob's driving he's driving an ice cream van down Evergreen Terrace.
Yeah.
He's like, the following people will not be killed by me. And he's like, Ned Flanders, Maud Flanders.
Ned's just like, oh, isn't that nice, honey?
Yeah, well, he doesn't say the names Rod and Todd.
Yeah, I noticed that. I wrote that down too. I was like, they don't care about their kids.
Yeah.
Talk about terrible parents once again.
They're gonna get disemboweled.
Yep. Mean gutted.
Yeah, and he's like, Marge Simpson, Homer Simpson, Lisa Simpson, that little baby Simpson.
Homer runs in, woohoo, boy, you here? He's like, oh, wait, right. Once again, Homer, terrible parent.
Yeah, just the worst.
Yep.
So I think at that point,
It goes to
they go to the FBI, right?
Yeah, the Witness Protection Agency or whatever it is.
Yeah. And the FBI offers to relocate them and give them new identities.
And Homer's like, I want to be John Elway. And he like has a little fantasy where it's like the last minute of the Super Bowl. And he gets a touchdown and it's like, final score for Super Bowl 30, Denver 7, San Francisco 56.
Yeah, like still lose horribly.
Decimated.
Yeah, so the FBI offers them a choice of a bunch of really awesome places, such as Cape Fear, Terror Lake, New Horrorfield, and Screamville.
Ice Creamville?
Screamville.
Ah!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, and you guys could be the Thompsons.
Of Terror Lake.
Yeah, so it's like one of the best scenes where he's just trying to role play with Homer and be like, when I say, hello, Mr. Thompson, you will just say hello.
Yeah. Hello, Mr. Thompson. Homer just looks blankly.
Just blanks out like 3 or 4 times. And then it's like a fade to like 3 hours later.
Yeah, like the family looks bored. The FBI guys are like frustrated and smoking cigarettes and shit.
Yeah, they got their shirts rolled up.
Yeah.
He's like, now when I say hello, Mr. Thompson, and press down on your foot, you smile and nod.
He like, hello, Mr. Thompson. You like hear him slamming on his foot. And Homer's just like, I think he's talking to you.
The guy just like face palms so hard. But like, it just cuts to them in the U-Haul. Or with the U-Haul trailer.
The U-Haul. You don't want to get sued.
Sorry. I don't want to get sued.
Yeah, cut that out. And they have a convertible and stuff. And they're like, oh, the FBI folks thought of anything. And then Lisa finds the tapes, which are the complete What was it again?
The Complete Works of Gilbert and Sullivan.
Yes.
The FBI light opera.
Yep. And for you who don't know, a tape is like a VHS, except it's audio only, and it goes into like a cassette player.
It's like 10 MP3s in a big plastic thing that you stick into your car.
Yeah. And once again, no selection. You had to play sequentially, rewind and fast forward. It was terrible. Although you can make some pretty cool mixtapes before you could download MP3s.
Fire mixtapes.
Oh yeah.
Can't do that now.
Nope.
I mean, you probably can, but
I'd probably have
I don't know what
somewhere.
the kids do these days.
I don't know.
Anyway, so yeah, pans down and Sideshow Bob is like tied himself to the bottom of their car.
Yep.
And as they're on their way to
Terror Lake.
No, not Terror Lake. On the way to Cape Feare.
No, they're Terror Lake.
Did they actually move to Terror Lake?
Yeah.
After the episode's called Cape Feare?
Yeah. It always bugged me about that episode.
I didn't even clue in.
Always bugged me.
That's so funny.
Yeah, because he's Mr. Thompson of Terror Lake.
Yeah. I just figured they abandoned the identity because it didn't.
And then like later on, another part it shows Terror Lake on it.
Yeah, no, my brain just projected Cape Feare onto everything.
Yep. Nope.
That's crazy.
But yeah, they're driving down the road, and Homer's just like, these lousy speed bumps. And he's just going over them full speed, and Sideshow Bob is just smoking his head off of them. And he's like drinking coffee, and he just takes a sip, and he's like, "Oh, this coffee's too hot," and just pours it completely out on the side of the car. And you just hear Sideshow Bob screaming.
And he's like, "Want to drive through that cactus patch, kids?" And they're like, "Yeah." You hear Sideshow Bob underneath going, "No."
And Homer's like, "Well, 2 against 1." Just weaves into the cactus patch.
So good. So one thing I thought was just like I laughed out loud really hard was because they pull up to their houseboat. And Homer's got like a witness protection T-shirt and a hat as well,
and like mug and everything. Yeah. It's like everywhere.
All the swag.
Yeah.
And he's just living the dream, I guess.
They also do like a sort of mock intro of the Simpsons, except it's the Thompsons.
Right. And it's all like its a little bit different.
Yeah, like its own couch gag and stuff where fish fall on them. But yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was funny as well because there's a couple scenes where you see the inside of their houseboat and they've got like the clock from like their kitchen and like the curtains with the corn cobs on it.
I also have the picture of the sailboat and stuff. They like just brought it with them.
Yeah, which I guess you probably do in real life. But.
I suppose. But yeah, Homer says something about like the great thing about living in a houseboat is if you don't like your neighbors, you could just pull anchor and drive away. And as soon as he says that, everyone else just pulls anchor and drives away.
Yeah, because they all start laughing really obnoxiously, right? Yeah. And then all the other boats just drive off.
Yeah, nah. Marge's just like, "Where's the dog?" I was like, "I tied him out back." Just shows him.
Yeah, he's just like paddling around. Yeah. Is it? I guess it's a lake.
Yeah, well, Terror Lake. It's more of like a peninsula.
And it has a little river that leads all the way to Springfield, though.
Yeah. Once again, okay, we'll go into my geography segment.
Okay, yeah. I don't want to spoil it.
Looked at the map. This map. I think I had to find a new source because it's not showing me anything I need to know. There's no canal for Terror Lake. Like, it shows where a few of the other cities are that I mentioned, but I don't even think it mentions Terror Lake. I couldn't find it. I didn't really look that hard, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah, and in the episode you see, well, we'll get into that, but near the end where the boat's coming back towards Springfield, it's like coming like way up above Springfield, and it's like coming down towards, you see the power plant right in the middle of the city. And like,
it's not in the middle of the city. It's, I don't even know. We should make a map.
We should make our own map. Yeah. And be like, based on all these episodes.
Exactly.
We'll take an average of the location.
Exactly.
Nerds.
I mean, yeah, I programmed a randomizer. I think they already know we're nerds.
Definitely. So yeah, Bob unhitches himself from the bottom of the car and just steps on a rake and makes his like noise, and then he walks on another rake.
Yeah.
And then there's just like half dozen rakes just laying around.
It's actually a dozen. There's 12 of them.
There is 12.
I counted.
And he walks into each of them twice, I think. And
that part is actually like that wasn't initially in the script. It was just they found it so funny when Kelsey Grammer did the sound and stuff that they like made it happen a dozen times or whatever.
And you can see he clearly just like loops the scene twice, and it's still so good.
It goes inside to Homer, and you still hear it hitting Sideshow Bob and just doing it.
Right.
Yeah. Then it's Bart walking to school. Is it?
No. So Marge is talking about how they're gonna sort their lives out again after leaving everything behind, and Homer's like, "Don't worry, I tied up all the loose ends." And he cuts to Grandpa like banging on the door in their house in Springfield. He's like, "You've got my pills. I'm cold, and there are wolves after me."
You just hear like wolves howling in the distance. It's like broad daylight. Then it goes to Bart walking to school, and like you hear something about "Hello, Bart," and like shows an old lady driving a convertible or whatever, just smiling at him, and like he's like, "Down here, Bart," lets himself go, and gets smoked by the bumper of the car.
And then a marching band, and then like a whole herd of elephants.
Yeah, I love what the elephants say. It's like Terror Lake salutes Hannibal crossing the Alps. It's 5 elephants. It's like, why the hell are they saluting that? Why is there a parade for that?
They just have like loads of elephants that live there.
Yeah, pretty
and
much.
the only thing,
At least 5.
I don't know, kind of historical events that elephants have been involved in. I think that might be the only one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Although,
I don't know.
gonna say
Lord of the Rings.
I'm like 0 for 1 in historical facts from the last podcast.
Yeah, exactly. We were.
I was like, Edgar Allan Poe, he's not American. He was born before America was even a thing.
Yeah, I was born in Boston.
Instantly called out. So yeah, at some point in there, I wrote down that Sideshow Bob is making plans to disembowel Bart.
Yeah, it's right here. It's like surprise boy in bed and disembowel him. It's
Right.
like,
Disembowel him.
Yeah,
and he's like,
yeah.
I don't like that bowel in there. Gut him.
cut him. Yeah.
That's much better.
Yeah, then it yeah, that's Bart in bed, and Homer like comes running in brandishing a butcher knife, and he's like, "Bart, do you want a brownie before you go to bed?"
Yeah.
It's
He's like, what?
oh, the
oh.
Sideshow Bob thing. Like Bart lays back down, and like 1 second later, he comes running in with a rubbing chainsaw and a hockey mask on. Bart, do you want to see my new chainsaw and hockey mask?
And Bart just like loses his shit.
I
And
always
he's like
love it.
shaking,
Yeah.
and Homer's like, oh, sorry.
sorry.
And then he just like kisses him on his head and leaves. And Bart's still just like shaking in place right there.
Oh, that's one of my favorite parts in the whole freaking series. Is just
Yeah, because like the hockey mask, like the eyes are like glowing
Yeah.
red and stuff too. So it's like so intense.
so good. Now, do you think they were actually really glowing red, or is that just like Bart's imagination of a 10-year-old?
I don't know. I feel like Homer would pay the extra for like the LED lights in the eyeballs.
Probably, except I don't think it had LEDs back then. They would have been like those giant incandescent ones.
They had LEDs back then. Come on. This was
only red.
93.
Yeah.
Only red. Well, there you go.
Have you seen the LEDs back then? They're like the Super Dave Osborne like freaking background board. They're giant light bulbs.
I don't want to talk about historical LED usage.
Oh, if you want to listen to that, check out our other podcast,
LEDcast.
Yeah.
So, and then,
Go to bed.
like, Bart goes back to sleep, and then Sideshow Bob comes in.
Yeah, he like pulls himself up out of the lake, and
Yeah.
his like hair's all like drowned rat, and he just shakes it.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and he's like, your family can't help you now. And it cuts to them, like, tied up on the deck, and Homer is, like, drooling.
Yeah.
And Lisa's like, oh my god, I think Dad's been drugged. He's like, no,
Marge's
he's
like-
just sleeping.
No, he's not. Bob pulls a machete out from like nowhere and cuts the line from the ship too. I noticed that, and then the machete's just gone. Always noticed that. Sort of bugged me.
Continuity.
Mm-hmm.
Or lack thereof.
And how?
Yeah,
So Bart runs from one side of the ship, and there's crocodiles in the water, and he runs to the other side, and there's electric eels. Then he runs back to the first side, and there's a crocodile still, and he's like, oh yeah.
yeah, I always laugh at that part.
Yeah.
'Cause it's just like, they can't let any, like, actual tension build up. Otherwise it would actually be, like, scary.
Yeah.
So he's just, like, running for his life, and he's like, oh yeah. I forgot about those crocodiles
Yeah.
I just saw.
Yeah. And then Sideshow Bob gets him, and he's like, any last requests before I kill you? He's like, well, you have such a beautiful voice. Could you, like, sing the entire score of the HMS Pinafore?
Yep.
He's like, fine, I shall send you to heaven before I send you to hell.
Yeah, so this, like, this little montage of Bob singing all these songs from this musical, which I've never seen before.
Not never, except from this episode.
Yeah, I know. If I saw it, it would be like when I watch Cape Fear, where
Yeah.
I'm just, like, laughing at inappropriate moments.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my god, that's from The Simpsons.
Exactly.
I go see this musical, I'd just be like, that's from The Simpsons every single time
It's
it's
like,
on.
people are dying in battle, though. But the Simpsons!
It's funny because Bob did it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like Bart's like sitting back, and then like there's one point he actually joins in one of
Yeah.
the songs, and he's got like a show program
Yeah,
and stuff
like,
in his
I wrote
hands.
down every single thing that was like weird. Just like watching him, and Bob's like in costume with like a mop for hair, and Bart's just sitting back eating popcorn. And then like Bart joins him, like you said, and there's like a bunch of just like sets and stuff. And then it's like the final scene and Bart's reading the playbill.
Yeah.
Then the ending comes, the giant Union Jack drops down. And like there's applause, standing ovation, and some random person hands Bob a bouquet of flowers.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. And that's when Bob's
like, and now, the final curtain.
Yeah. They crash onto land. And you just hear a bunch of guns cocking, and it's Chief Wiggum.
Yeah, and they're all in their bathrobes, him and Lou and Eddie.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, so they're aiming their guns, and then Bob's like, by Lucifer's beard! And Wiggum's like, yeah. It's a good thing you drifted by this brothel.
That's so good.
Yeah. And
do you think it was the same brothel as the other Simpsons episode?
Like the Burlesque House? I don't know.
Because that's like, not on the...
It's like in the forest.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's so weird.
Yeah. Maybe it's like outside the city limits just so it's, quote, legal.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
It's in no man's land.
And it's just like all the brothels in Nevada.
Yeah, so Bart's like, take him away, boys. And then Wiggum's like, oh...
That's my...
Yeah, I'll call the shots around here or whatever.
It's like, bake him away, toys. What was that, Chief? Huh? Do what the kid says.
So they... all's well that ends well. They get back to the house and Grandpa says, look what happens when I don't take my pills. He's got like a long head of hair and lipstick on for some reason.
He's got breasts. And
why did he put lipstick on?
He's like wearing woman's clothing too. It's great.
Yeah.
And then Marge's like, Bart, quick, run upstairs and get his pills. And Jasper comes. He's like, wait, not so fast. I want to court this fine maiden. Or fair young maiden.
Yep.
And Grandpa's like, well, there's something you should know. And Jasper's like, I got Stephen and Edie tickets. I'm all yours. Like you're a kiss. So,
and then roll credits.
Yeah. So,
what a freaking episode.
Such a good episode.
And it's like, it's another one of those tricky ones where it's like, it's there's no like theme to the episode. It's just like a series of events which are hilarious.
It's another rip-off and or spoof of a movie. Cape Fear and the
a rip-off, parody, spoof.
Yep.
Yeah, homage. But yes, I was watching Cape Fear and hoping that like that was how they were going to survive at the end, was like tricking a psychopathic Robert De Niro into singing opera for them. And I was like, I feel like this is not going to happen. That does not happen at all.
Spoiler alert for Cape Fear, there are 0 brothels in the movie.
Actually, no, you're right, there's no brothels.
Unless you were watching like a director's cut that I don't know about.
There's some really weird like daddy-daughter stuff going on though in that movie.
Dude, who played the daughter? That was it Molly Ringwald? She looked like Molly Ringwald.
No, not Molly Ringwald. The other one.
Molly Ringwald?
Juliette Lewis is her name.
Never heard of her.
Oh, she's been in like a billion things though. Whatever. Either way, she's like 15 in the peck
Yeah.
And Robert De Niro like makes out with her at one point. And
yeah,
just
like
oh god.
Heavy makeout too, not just like peck on the lips.
And like at the time of that movie, he had to have been like, he's like well into his 40s, I think.
Probably at least.
But
he's
maybe I'm wrong.
I think he's immortal, so.
Yeah. That's what I thought looking at the movie. Like, I can't really tell how old he is because he looks the exact same now.
It's just like Keanu Reeves and Nic Cage. Have you ever seen the picture of...
Nic Cage, he's just like hit it like a brick wall now.
Oh yeah, no, but it's because he just needs a feast.
Yeah.
But have you seen the picture of his like, I don't know, like 1800 prospector that looks exactly like Nic Cage?
I have seen that.
Yeah.
And there's like one, like an old-timey one of Keanu Reeves as well.
Yeah, they're both vampires.
He's time traveling. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, that's like, it's one of my favorite episodes. Yeah. I mean, I'd put it up there like a 9.5 out of 10 sprinkles on the donut.
What's a 10 for you? Because I give this one a 10 for sure. This is 10 sprinkles.
Like, I think I'd probably there's other episodes I think I like better that we'll eventually get to if the laws of random numbers are with us.
Yeah, pretty much. Who knows when?
We might have to do some special episodes where we just pick an episode.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, it's coming up to it's like a month from Halloween. We have to pick a Treehouse of Horror to do.
Do you want to just start from the beginning and
do one?
Do one every year, or do 2 maybe, because I don't...
We're going to be doing this for the next 30 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
I don't plan to be alive for 30 years. I don't know about you.
I got stuff to do, man.
Yep.
Like make podcasts.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're it's a 10 out of 10?
Oh, it's a 10 out of 10.
This is like, you said last time this is one of your favorite episodes.
It's probably my favorite episode.
The favorite.
It is my favorite. It's my favorite Sideshow Bob episode. I love Sideshow Bob. Kelsey Grammer does a great job portraying him. His voice is just music to my ears.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, we did miss one part when Krabappel says, "You're going to be my murder victim, Bart."
Yeah, that's right.
And Lizzie, in our school production of Lizzie Borden, played by Martin Prince.
Yeah, he's like, dirty wax with a wet noodle, Bart.
Yeah, just had to bring Marge back in there, the home wrecker.
Yeah. Yeah, there was some weird parallels to the last one we did. Maybe that's just because it's The Simpsons.
It was weird. Like, the whole Scully thing, I was just like, that's so fucking weird.
The Scully?
Yeah, Scully and, like, Martin being in both. Like, they're not very common characters to be in every single episode.
Yeah, super weird.
Yeah.
I had watched a couple of other episodes as well, just at random, just to see if any stood out to me. And there was another one where, like, more, like, weird coincidences happen, where there's, like, that capital city mascot or whatever.
Yeah, the capital city goofball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was in one where Bart pretends to fall down a well, and then he actually falls down a well.
Yeah, he's like one of the celebrity singers.
Right. So it was like, it was weird.
Need some more Handsome Pete. There's not enough Handsome Pete in The Simpsons.
Yeah, there's a few different Krusty episodes, right? There's one where he meets his dad, and then there's like the Handsome Pete one.
Yeah.
Which I think is its own episode, right?
It's the one where Krusty fakes his death.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because they're like, have you seen this clown? And they blow up a balloon, and the sea captain's like, that'd be Dancing Pete. He dances for nickels.
Dancing Pete.
Yeah. Or Handsome Pete.
Is it Dancing Pete?
I think it's Handsome. It's Handsome Pete.
We're going to commit to that.
Yeah.
And get
It's
eaten
like,
alive.
be Handsome Pete.
And, I don't know, maybe we should do, like, series of things, like, do a bunch of Krusty episodes in a row, or like a bunch of Nelson Muntz episodes in a row.
Yeah.
Background characters.
Skinner episodes, Apu episodes, etc., etc.
Yeah. Krabappel.
Krabappel. I was calling her Crandall.
I think the next one after Cape Fear is the Flaming Moe episode.
Is it?
Yeah.
Season
like
5 is strong.
Yeah, it was when I feel like it hit its peak.
Like everything from season 3 to like season 9-ish.
Yeah.
It's pretty strong.
Yeah, and then it just tanks.
Starts to taper off. I would say like that's the golden age, and then like after that it's a bit of the silver age, and then it's just like fucking dirt age.
Yeah, like there's like Camp Krusty Land stuff. And
Yeah.
then there's so much good stuff.
Duff Garden, Scorpio.
Yeah, like the
Monorail.
ones nowadays, I have no idea what they're about.
I watched one like a couple years ago when they had the stupid Family Guy crossover, and it was garbage.
Weird.
It wasn't that great.
I think there's like a South Park crossover somewhere as well.
I don't know.
But
There was like that Lego episode, which I didn't find funny at all. I was like, oh, this is pretty neat. It's some Lego stop motion or whatever CGI. But I was like, it's not that funny.
right.
I don't know. I find like modern Simpsons is just, every week there's a different celebrity for whatever reason. Whereas back in the day, it was like far and few between. They actually had a solid show. They didn't have to just milk celebrities to come on.
And the celebrities would play like random characters too, and you wouldn't have a clue it was them, right?
Like there was Dustin Hoffman and Michael Jackson are on build.
Yeah.
Like Lisa Substitute, which I think is in season 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And that's Dustin Hoffman. And then the Michael Jackson episode where he's on build as well.
Right. And I think Susan Sarandon's in the one where Bart learns how to do ballet.
Yeah.
And like you'd never know because she's like an old like Russian lady or whatever.
Yeah. Romanian or whatever.
Yeah. Sorry to any Russian or Romanian people.
Former USSR. Just former USSR. Just say that. Maybe USSR again soon. We'll see how the world goes.
The former Eastern Bloc.
Yep. Iron Curtain.
Well,
do we know what the randomizer says for next week?
Oh, that's a great question.
Or, sorry, next episode, next podcast, whatever it is.
Next time unit.
Yep.
Says.
I actually programmed that sound into the program. That's not Will just going like that right now.
That's right. It was a clip of me doing that.
Yeah.
From LEDCast.
Oh, yes.
Season 2, Episode 6, Dead Putting Society.
Ooh. That's one I haven't watched in a long time.
Right. This bot. That's the mini golf one?
That's the mini golf one.
Yeah.
The one thing I love in that episode, which I'll bring up again next time, is what's the sound of one hand clapping? Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I can't remember anything that happens in the episode, so I'm excited to watch it.
Same. It's I don't think it's quite the golden age yet, but it's get into it. It's when it's still finding its roots.
Well, yeah, and like you said last time, I think the episodes of that era are like a little bit more wholesome, right?
Yeah, have like a moral, family values, whatever.
They've got like a lesson that someone learns at the end.
Yeah, it's not just madness.
It's no Cape Fear.
Well, what's the lesson with Cape Fear? Don't piss off Sideshow Bob.
Yeah, exactly. Just totally random.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, this episode was really just like a filler, but it was like the high point.
It's like there's no storyline.
Even
anymore.
their filler is killer.
Yeah. Oh, rhyme. Therefore, it is true.
Boom.
Right.
I'm open to writing jobs on The Simpsons if anyone's listening.
Yeah, same. If you just hire us, we'll bring it back to the golden age.
Yeah, kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's it.
Yeah. So feel free to visit us on Facebook, facebook.com/steamedhamsshow. I just added that S in there to make Will happy. Yeah, you're welcome. There's also twitter.com/steamedhamsshow as well, steamedhamsshow@gmail.com, steamedhams.ca. We have a YouTube channel. We don't have a custom URL for it yet because we need like 10,000 views or some shit like that.
So get on that.
So get on it, people. Tell your friends. I hope you have 9,999 friends.
And yeah, so you can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes now. How exciting. So you just have to search Steamed Hams in your podcast app and then subscribe.
And we also have a SoundCloud, but I don't think anyone in the right mind actually uses SoundCloud like as an actual thing. They just get links to it. So
yes,
we have links to it on our social medias.
Cool.
All right.
Well, till next time.
Yes. Stay frosty. Is that a thing?
Keep it cromulent.
Keep it cromulent. That's very embiggening. What's the other word? Embiggening.
You feel embiggened?
I can't freaking say it.
Embiggened?
I'm not embiggened enough to say it.
You gotta embiggen your vocabulary.
I do.
All right. See you next time.